Warraway. Brad, what are the nerves like after that, and how do you respond to that one?
I'm just elated for our players, our supporters, our club. Nerves are fine. I mean, you move on pretty quickly. The best part's gone, unfortunately. No, really proud of the players, and everyone associated with our club should be tonight.
What was the highlight of the night for you? Was it the 4 goals from Ben Brown as he took the game by the scruff of the neck, or Drew Petrie's 2 goals in a minute to sort of finish it off?
The highlight's probably the steely resolve of the players at half-time when we were clearly under the pump and not playing well, and the opposition were playing well. So that's the highlight, to know that there's character within the group to come back.
And Brad, you backed them in at half-time. You didn't seem to make many changes. You just put on them at half-time to say you've got yourself in this mess, get yourselves out of it?
No, we made some changes with our forward setup, which was the problem. There are a few problems, but I think we went in at half-time, I think, with one more forward 50 entry than Essendon, and went in 12 times in the second quarter for 1 score, for 1 point. So that clearly needed to change, and we looked a lot more dangerous in the third quarter.
Brad, are you as confused as everyone else with the sliding rule, and what did you make of Levi Greenwood's report?
What can you make of it? Players have coaches, and this is why umpires have coaches, I imagine.
Are you confused, though, in that sense?
Well, I am, because I thought that if you slid in and made contact with someone below the knees, it was a free kick for you, not against you. But, I mean, the umpires will tell us, the umpires' directors will tell us, was it a mistake or is something changed with the interpretation? And I think that needs to be clarified. But if it's a mistake, fine. Everyone makes mistakes.
Is that the best win of your coaching career?
Yes.
Is there anything that comes anywhere near close to it?
No, I think that's a standout just because of the stakes, what's obviously on the line and the way the boys did it. So I'm proud of them, but the captain was very quick to remind them that the final series is still going; it's not over yet. So we've got some work to do.
The change room, the mood's one of elation, but players are really keen to move on to the next game already. How keen are you for a crack at your brother's side?
Oh, we're keen for a crack at whoever it is, and it happens to be Geelong, so we'll give it our best shot. And we've been working towards this final series for a long time, and we've earned the right to a home final tonight, and got another home final next Friday night. So it's a great opportunity for us, and we'll leave nothing in the tank.
Brad, your second quarters have been sort of generally a little bit poorer throughout the season. Are there any sort of trends that you've sort of picked up for why that might be?
One of our assistant coaches is doing a lot of work on that. He's looking at all sorts of different things as to, the way we play, but it just so happens to be second quarters. So there is a trend to it, no doubt about that, but we can't put our finger on, what exactly it is. So we'll just keep working on it.
What do you think happened tonight? Just that you didn't get sort of reward for your entries?
Yeah, mainly. I mean, we had, as I said, 12 entries. We had 25 entries at half-time, which is not a terrible result, but of the 12 in the second quarter to only score 1 point, that was, and then we got rebounded as well. So, it was a bit of a double whammy there.
Just on Ben Brown, how impressed were you that he stood up in the way that he did for such an inexperienced person?
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic. He kept presenting all night, and he's one of those players we often talk about, players stepping up in the big moments in big games, and he was right up for the challenge tonight. And I put Kane Turner in that category too. He's been well documented. He's at school, but 80,000 at the MCG, running around next to Paul Chapman, it doesn't worry him. It doesn't faze him one bit. So, and that's what you look for as a coach. You look for players who'll step up in big moments in big games.
How important has Greenwood been for you this year? He's been obviously outstanding, but even tonight in that last quarter, I think he had 15 touches or something along those lines. Yeah,
he was outstanding again. Look, it's midfield depth and flexibility, something that I think most sides are working on at the moment. I don't want to single too many out because the midfield as a unit worked really, really well tonight. When we needed players to step up, different players did on different occasions. But Levi's just, he's a finals type player because he's such a contested player. He loves the contest.
Just on Drew Petrick, he was one of the players that was challenged midway through the season. For him to do what he did tonight, can you just tell us your reaction to that?
Yeah, we spoke at half time and said, this is what you play footy for, Drew. In the big moment, we're under the pump, you're our big key forward, we're going to play you deep. Let's have a crack at it and leave nothing out there. And he brought up during the week his last final where he was really disappointed, and also round one against Essendon where he was really disappointed. So, I was rapt for him. He responded the way good players do.
In a similar vein, how proud are you of Lindsay and the way he fought back after half-time?
Yeah, he had a good player on him who had a role on him, and as Lindsay... Lindsay laughs at all these midfielders who whinge about being tagged. He thinks he gets tagged every week. He's got a defender on him all the time. So, no, he was great. Just kept persisting. His pressure was outstanding, along with Kane Turner and others. So, I was pleased for them all.
The bloke with the biggest smile in there tonight's obviously Boomer. He's obviously worked really hard. What was his emotion after the game? Can you take us through that?
Probably relief. I mean, he's again, he had some pretty important moments in the box again tonight. So, we get one back next week on field and lose one off field. So, I think he's relieved, and he gets the opportunity now to repay his teammates and repay his club. And there aren't too many players in my experience who come back better after a spell than Boomer.
Brad, how impressed have you been with Daniel Wells' sort of comeback? And did he also sort of take a knock to his foot in the second half as well?
Yeah, he just needed. He just got restrapped, and he was okay after that. But he took another step in, I think, the football world's estimation of him tonight. He was just. I don't think we could have. As I said, there are a lot of individuals who were terrific tonight, but Wellsy is just a class above most others. So he was enormous for us tonight.
You're going to brace yourself for a week of questions about you and Cruz?
It comes, we'll just keep deflecting it back to Geelong versus North.
Just on Geelong versus North, they've had the measure of you this year in that sense. What can you take out of those games? What areas do you think you can improve in?
Look, I think we'll have a really close look at them, but I think we were badly beaten around the ball the last couple of times. So, we've got some players back, which will help us with that. But look, they're a terrific side, and when you're in the final six, you play a really good side. So we're not going to play anyone who's not a really good side from this point on.
Brad, you mentioned Daniel Wells taking a step up in estimation. Do you think the same will go for Ben Cunnington as well?
Yeah, and that's I said I wasn't going to individualise it. I mentioned 12 blokes, so it's been good. I reckon you guys can write about that. You don't need me to say anything. Just again, finals type player.
It is a big week coming up for the Scott family, though. Twins up against each other and a baby on the way.
Yeah, but good things are happening. So, this is what you want in September.
How do your parents, how will they feel about it all?
We've played against each other or coached against each other enough now that it's sort of old hat.
You said that Hansen probably almost certainly won't come up this week. Is that a fair indication of that?
I think he'll struggle to come up this week. But, we could... There's no talk of, say, putting him in for surgery or anything like that. I mean, we're going to keep him going and keep him rehabbing and trying to get him up each week because he is a really important player to us. And we'd love to get him in the side. But, you can't carry injured guys in finals, so he'll either get up or he won't. And Adams would be right, obviously, from last week as well. It should be, but he was... It's unusual that he was still suffering the effects probably 5 days on from that concussion. So, really too hard to tell at this point.
Brad, did Todd Goldstein take a knock to the face or something? I think it was a head clash in the last quarter.
If he did, it wasn't serious enough for the medicos to report it to me.
Is that your initial assessment? No fresh injury concerns for next week from this game?
Yeah, no, everyone was fine. We had a long discussion about the sub, and usually it's is anyone a bit sore, and everyone was good. So clean bill of health. Thanks, guys.